Ladies and gentlemen, we all know aging takes a toll on our bodies. Joints ache, memory fades, and vision. It blurs. But here's the truth. No one is telling you your eyes don't have to deteriorate just because you're aging. What's really to blame? It's not time. It's inflammation. It's oxidative stress. And it's metabolic dysfunction, often rooted in what you consume. You see, we've been fed a lie that vision loss in old age is inevitable, that cataracts, macular degeneration, and dry eye are just part of the package. But the data doesn't support that, at least not entirely. The retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the body. That means it's extremely sensitive to what you eat, what you drink, and yes, even what you do before bed. So tonight, I want to give you 4 evidence-backed bedtime drinks, simple, accessible, and safe, that can help support eye repair during sleep. Why sleep? Because sleep is when your body detoxifies, rebuilds tissue, and restores mitochondrial function. You give your liver a break, you give your brain a chance to clean house, and if you're smart, you give your eyes a chance to regenerate. Here we go. We've been sold a myth. We're told that as you get older, your eyesight just fades, that it's natural, that you're supposed to expect cataracts in your 60s, macular degeneration in your 70s, and glaucoma if you're lucky enough to make it to your 80s. But that narrative is not only outdated, it's flat out wrong. It's not aging that's the problem. It's what aging represents. And more importantly, it's what it exposes. See, your eyes aren't just passive lenses sitting in your skull. They are living metabolically active tissue, some of the most energy hungry in your entire body. The retina alone consumes oxygen at a rate higher than almost any other tissue. Why does that matter? Because any tissue with high metabolic demand is also at high risk for damage, especially from oxidative stress and inflammation. And if you've got high blood sugar, insulin resistance, or chronic low-grade inflammation from processed food, guess what takes the hit first? Your eyes. What most people call normal aging is actually slow, accumulative damage, driven by mitochondrial dysfunction, cellular stress, and nutrient depletion. In simpler terms, it's your body trying to do its job with broken tools and polluted fuel, and your eyes are no exception. The problem is, we treat the symptoms, blurry vision, dry eyes, floaters, without ever addressing the cause. We hand out reading glasses and lubricating drops like Band-Aids, while ignoring the bigger picture. Your internal biochemistry is screaming for help. Let's talk about macular degeneration, the leading cause of blindness in older adults. You think that's genetic? Think again. Less than 10% of macular degeneration cases are strictly hereditary. The majority are lifestyle related. Inflammatory diets low in micronutrients and high in refined carbs and seed oils are major culprits. The photoreceptor cells in your retina rely on nutrients like lutein, zeaxanthin, and omega-3 ces to function. Starve them of those, you get dysfunction. Kill them slowly with inflammation, you get degeneration. Same goes for cataracts. The lens of your eye is made up of proteins arranged in a very precise, transparent structure. But when those proteins get glycated, a fancy word for sugar damage, they become cloudy. That's what a cataract is. Glycation doesn't happen because of your birth certificate. It happens because your blood sugar is chronically elevated, your insulin is always high, and your antioxidant systems are overwhelmed. If you're drinking soda or eating dessert every night, you're accelerating that process. You're literally fogging your own lenses from the inside out. Now let's address dry eyes. Everyone thinks it's from staring at screens or not blinking enough. Sure, that plays a role, but the root of chronic dry eye is usually systemic. Poor omega-3 intake, inflammation of the meibomian glands, dehydration, gut dysfunction. Your tears aren't just water, they're a delicate mix of oil, water, and mucus. That balance gets thrown off by modern diets, stress, and yes, medications. Fix the inputs and the outputs, like tear film quality, improve. And don't even get me started on diabetic retinopathy. That one's not even hidden. It's the visual consequence of metabolic disease. Uncontrolled blood sugar damages the tiny capillaries in your retina. The body tries to repair the damage by growing new blood vessels, but they're leaky and dysfunctional. The result? Vision loss, blindness. And yet, we act like it's just an unlucky side effect. It's not. It's predictable. It's preventable. And most importantly, it's reversible if caught early and treated systemically. So what does all this mean? It means that if you're losing your vision, you need to stop blaming age and start asking better questions. What are you feeding your cells? Are you getting the nutrients your retina actually needs? Are you managing your blood sugar, your insulin, your inflammation? Are you sleeping well? The time when the glymphatic system clears out metabolic waste from the retina and brain. If the answer is no, you're not aging, you're eroding slowly, steadily, and unnecessarily. Let me be blunt. Your ophthalmologist may never tell you this, not because they're malicious, they just weren't trained to think this way. They were taught to treat symptoms, not systems. But the data doesn't lie. Study after study shows that lifestyle interventions, particularly those involving diet, micronutrient support, and metabolic regulation, have a measurable effect on visual function. Lutein and zeaxanthin supplementation improves macular pigment density, omega-3s reduce dry eye symptoms. Turmeric's curcumin reduces inflammation in retinal cells. The science is there. The question is, are you willing to act on it? Because here's the thing. Vision is precious. It's not just about being able to read or drive. It's about autonomy, quality of life, dignity. And if you're in your 60s or 70s and think it's too late, I've got news for you. It's not. Cellular regeneration doesn't stop just because you collect Social Security. Your mitochondria don't retire. If you give your body the right signals, it will respond even now. That starts with what you put on your plate. More leafy greens, more colorful vegetables, less processed garbage, ditch the sugar, cut the seed oils, get enough sleep, stay hydrated, move your body, and yes, choose bedtime drinks that support, not sabotage, your repair cycle, because that's when your body does the heavy lifting. You just need to get out of its way. So no, vision loss is not inevitable. It's a consequence of years of silent damage. But the beauty of the human body is that it wants to heal. If you give it a chance, it often does. Your job is to stop getting in its way. That's not optimism. That's biochemistry. We talk a lot about nutrition, about blood sugar, inflammation, oxidative stress, and all the lifestyle inputs that wreck your health from the inside out. But let me ask you this. What do you think your body is doing at night while you sleep? Resting? Sure, but that's barely scratching the surface. Sleep is not passive. It's the most biologically active restorative time your body gets. And if you're not sleeping well, or worse, sabotaging that window with the wrong inputs, then your eyes, just like your brain, your liver, and your mitochondria, are suffering for it. Your body is hardwired to repair itself during sleep. That includes your eyes, retinal tissue, optic nerve support structures, tear glands, epithelial linings, and vascular systems. This isn't theoretical, it's in the research. The retina clears out oxidative byproducts at night. The photoreceptor cells, the rods and cones, recover from light exposure and begin their renewal cycle. Damaged proteins get broken down and recycled. Inflammation goes down, growth hormone spikes. Melatonin, your body's master circadian regulator, kicks in and helps direct cellular cleanup. So if you think bedtime is just about avoiding screens or fluffing your pillow, you're missing the real story. Nighttime is your repair window. It's when the system runs diagnostics, clears out the metabolic trash, and preps your tissues for another day of function. The problem, most people go to bed primed for dysfunction. They drink the wrong things. They eat late. They have elevated cortisol. They've got insulin and blood glucose still floating around at midnight. That's not sleep. That's chemical chaos. And the eyes are especially vulnerable during this time. Why? Because they don't get much blood flow during sleep. They rely heavily on diffusion and intraocular circulation. That means any damage, any oxidative stress from the day needs to be neutralized efficiently, and that only happens when your system is optimized for repair. If you're pumping insulin all night from a sugary bedtime snack, or if you're inflamed from a day of poor food choices, the repair mechanisms in your retinal cells don't just underperform, they stall. Now let's talk melatonin. Everyone knows it helps with sleep, but here's what most people don't know. Melatonin isn't just a hormone that tells your brain it's bedtime. It's one of the most potent antioxidants in your entire body. That's right. Melatonin protects your retinal cells from oxidative stress. Your eyes even produce it locally. But if you're blasting your face with blue light before bed, or you're eating too close to bedtime, you suppress your body's own melatonin production. You literally block your own antioxidant shield right when you need it most. Let's go deeper. During sleep, your lymphatic system, the waste clearance system of the brain and retina, goes to work. This is when cellular waste, misfolded proteins, and metabolic byproducts get flushed out. Think of it as overnight housekeeping. But guess what impairs that process? Elevated insulin, inflammatory cytokines, sleep apnea, late night alcohol. So when you chug that glass of wine or dessert coffee before bed, you're not just disrupting your sleep, you're disabling your own eye cleaning system. And let me be very clear, if your eye tissues aren't cleaned out and repaired consistently, they accumulate damage. That leads to degeneration. That's how macular degeneration starts. That's how diabetic retinopathy progresses. That's how your vision slowly declines, not because you're getting older, but because your overnight repair mechanisms are offline. And for many people, they've been offline for years. Now here's the kicker, and it's the part nobody talks about. You can actually amplify this natural repair process by consuming the right things before bed. That's right. The bedtime window isn't just something to protect, it's something you can use. Certain nutrients taken at night can support ocular repair. Antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and nutrients that assist mitochondrial function can be targeted during this time for maximum effect. Let me give you a few examples. Tart cherry juice, if unsweetened, provides natural melatonin and anthocyanins. That supports both sleep quality and antioxidant protection for your retina. Golden milk with turmeric and black pepper, you're giving your body curcumin, which actively fights inflammation in retinal tissues. Aloe vera juice, pure, no added junk, can support collagen and reduce oxidative stress. These are not gimmicks, they're tools, biologically compatible with what your body is already trying to do during the night. But here's the deal. The benefits only come if the rest of your system is not working against you. If your blood sugar is spiked at bedtime, you're flooding your system with insulin. That's anti-repair. If your cortisol is high from doom scrolling, your melatonin won't rise. That's anti-repair. If you eat a heavy, high-fat meal before sleep, you disrupt your digestion and steal resources from your cellular repair crew. You're not just wasting the night, you're actively damaging yourself. So what do? You prepare for sleep the same way an athlete prepares for a race. You control your inputs, you time your nutrition, you turn off your tech, and you prime your system to repair, not survive. Don't just go to bed. Enter sleep in a state that promotes healing. Stop treating bedtime like the end of your day and start treating it like the beginning of your recovery. That's how athletes build muscle overnight. That's how the brain detoxifies. And that's how your eyes get a fighting chance at repair. If you want to protect your vision, don't just focus on glasses or surgeries. Focus on the biological window where your body is designed to fix itself. Sleep is not optional. Nighttime repair is not optional. And if you waste it, your vision pays the price. So here's the truth. Bedtime is your body's maintenance shift. It's your retinal detox crew's only chance to do their job. Your only job is not to get in the way. Put the right nutrients in, keep the toxins out, turn down the lights, let the system work. Because the clock is ticking, and every night is either a chance to heal or a missed opportunity you may never get back. Let's get one thing straight. You cannot out-supplement a bad lifestyle. If you're eating processed garbage all day and then tossing back a kale smoothie at 10 p.m., you're not healing. You're playing nutritional roulette. That said, if your foundation is relatively clean and you're doing the work, managing your blood sugar, cutting down your inflammation, giving your body a fighting chance, then yes, what you consume before bed can push you further toward repair, especially for your eyes, which are among the most metabolically active and most vulnerable organs you've got. Why bedtime? Because as we've already talked about, sleep is your repair cycle. It's when your retina cleans house, your oxidative stress goes down, and your cells actually start fixing themselves. If you feed your body the right compounds during this window, you're essentially giving it the tools it needs right when it needs them. Think of it like leaving a toolbox next to a mechanic before he starts his shift. Give him junk, he's wasting time. Give him quality tools, he gets the job done. So, here are 4 drinks that can support your eye health, each chosen not because they're trendy, but because they actually do something biochemically meaningful during your nighttime repair phase. And no, they're not sugar-loaded superfood smoothies or overpriced gimmicks. They're grounded in real science, but only if you do them right. Let's start with tart cherry juice. Not the sugar bomb you find in the juice aisle. I'm talking about unsweetened, 100% tart Montmorency cherry juice. Why? 2 reasons. Melatonin and anthocyanins. Tart cherries naturally contain melatonin, which not only helps you fall asleep, it directs the repair process, especially in neural tissues like the retina. Melatonin isn't just a sleep hormone, it's a retinal antioxidant. Your eyes actually make it, and when you provide it exogenously, without the sugar that would shut it down, you enhance that cycle. But that's just half the story. The anthocyanins in tart cherries reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. These polyphenols protect your photoreceptors from the damage caused by light exposure, especially the high-energy blue light you're bombarded with all day from screens. These compounds literally help preserve your retinal integrity. Half a cup of this juice before bed is plenty. But again, it must be unsweetened. If you're spiking your blood sugar at night, you're canceling out the benefits. Sugar is the enemy of repair. Next up, golden milk. This is not your coffee shop turmeric latte with agave syrup and oat milk that tastes like cake. This is functional medicine in a mug. Golden milk is a blend of turmeric, black pepper, and a clean non-dairy milk like almond or unsweetened coconut. The hero here is curcumin, the active compound in turmeric. It's a potent anti-inflammatory, and when paired with piperine from black pepper, its bioavailability skyrockets. Curcumin has been shown in multiple studies to reduce inflammation in the retina, protect against oxidative stress, and even improve microvascular circulation. That's huge because many age-related vision problems, macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, are microvascular in origin. They begin when the tiny blood vessels in your eyes become inflamed, constricted, or leaky. Curcumin helps keep those vessels functional. Warm it, blend it, drink it slowly before bed. No sugar, no honey. This is medicine, not dessert. Third on the list, aloe vera juice. And let me be clear, I'm not talking about the bright green stuff you find in gas station coolers. That's basically sugar water with a health halo. You want pure, decolorized, food-grade aloe vera juice, free of preservatives, dyes, and added sweeteners. Why aloe? Because it contains a compound called acemannan, which supports cellular repair, stimulates collagen production, and helps modulate inflammation. All of these processes are vital for eye health. The epithelial cells that line your cornea and support your tear glands need constant regeneration. And aloe can help facilitate that if the product is clean. It also contains vitamins A, C, and E, 3 antioxidants directly tied to eye tissue protection. Just 1-2 ounces diluted in water before bed is all you need. And bonus, it also supports gut health, which indirectly benefits eye function by modulating systemic inflammation. Finally, the one everyone talks about, but almost no one does right. The blueberry and kale smoothie. Sounds healthy, right? And it can be, but not if you load it up with bananas, honey, oat milk, and protein powder. That turns it into dessert. What you want is simple. Half a cup of wild blueberries, not the giant watery ones from the supermarket, a handful of kale unsweetened almond milk or water, and maybe some chia seeds for fiber and omega-3s. That's it. Why this combo? Wild blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, just like tart cherries. But they're also high in lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 carotenoids that concentrate in the macula, the center of your retina responsible for sharp, detailed vision. Kale is a powerhouse for those same nutrients. They don't just float around in your blood, they embed in your eye tissue where they absorb high-energy light and prevent damage. They're like internal sunglasses built into your retina, but you have to consume them regularly, and bedtime is a strategic time to do it. This smoothie won't spike your insulin, won't disrupt your sleep, and won't interfere with melatonin production. Instead, it quietly delivers antioxidants, phytonutrients, and precursors for glutathione production, your body's master antioxidant. That means better detox, better repair, better protection. So here's the bottom line. These drinks are not magic potions. They don't work in isolation. They only work if the rest of your lifestyle supports them. But they do have the potential to accelerate your eye repair process, especially if consumed regularly and at the right time before bed when your body is in its natural state of restoration. What you drink before sleep either fuels repair or feeds destruction. You get to choose 4 drinks. 0 sugar. Maximum function. That's not hype. That's human physiology. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Sugar is not just empty calories. It's not just bad for your waistline. Sugar is biochemical sabotage, especially when it comes to healing and especially at night. If you're consuming sugar before bed, whether through a healthy smoothie, flavored tea, a so-called wellness drink, or even some innocent-looking fruit juice, you are effectively shutting down your body's repair systems. Full stop. Let's back up a bit. You've probably heard that sleep is when the body heals. That's not just a slogan. It's literally how your biology is designed. During sleep, your brain and body shift into parasympathetic mode, rest and repair. Melatonin levels rise, cortisol drops, insulin sensitivity resets, and your cells get to work cleaning up the oxidative mess from the day. That includes your eyes. Retinal cells regenerate. Microglial cells clear debris. Your lymphatic system, think of it like your brain and retina's sewage system, starts flushing out waste. But none of that can happen properly if you sabotage it with sugar and chemical additives before bed. Why? Because sugar turns on insulin, and insulin, while necessary for survival, is the antagonist of repair. You can't be in growth and detox mode at the same time. Insulin says, store fat, store energy, don't clean house. Melatonin says, let's repair the cell. And those two can't both drive the bus. They compete. So if you have a high sugar drink at 9 p.m., your insulin spikes, your blood sugar remains elevated for hours, and you essentially delay or even block the cellular repair that should be happening during deep sleep. You've just turned a healing window into a holding pattern. And don't be fooled by labels. No added sugar doesn't mean it's safe. Many bedtime drinks, chamomile teas, herbal infusions, even so-called health tonics are sweetened with things like agave, honey, maple syrup, evaporated cane juice, or fruit concentrate. It's all the same. It's sugar. and your liver doesn't care what plant it came from. The biochemistry is identical. It spikes your blood glucose, forces your pancreas to release insulin, and ignites a cascade of downstream effects that shut off repair and switch on inflammation. But it doesn't stop with sugar. Let's talk about processed additives. The stabilizers, emulsifiers, artificial colors, preservatives, and synthetic flavorings that sneak into your drinks under the radar. Your body has no evolutionary blueprint for dealing with these chemicals. They're new to your system, and they wreak havoc, especially on your gut and liver. Why does that matter for your eyes? Because your gut and liver are upstream from everything else. If your gut is inflamed from artificial sweeteners or thickening agents like carrageenan, you're producing inflammatory cytokines that travel through the bloodstream and land in tissues like your eyes. If your liver is overloaded trying to detox preservatives like sodium benzoate or potassium sorbate, it can't effectively clear retinal toxins or recycle critical antioxidants like glutathione. So that drink you thought was clean because it came in a glass bottle and said organic on the label. If it contains junk chemicals, it's not helping you, it's hurting you. And here's something the wellness industry doesn't want you to know. A lot of these additives are there not for you, but for the product to extend shelf life, to keep the color bright, to prevent separation, so it looks better on the shelf. That's food marketing, not food science. The product looks healthy, but your mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses in your retinal cells, don't care about packaging. They care about inputs, and those artificial inputs degrade mitochondrial function over time. That means less energy, more oxidative stress, and faster tissue degeneration, all while you're trying to sleep and heal. This becomes especially dangerous in older adults who already have diminished detox capacity, less efficient mitochondria, and a reduced antioxidant defense system. That's you, and you don't get a second chance. You either support your biology or you sabotage it. Every night is a fork in the road. Want to know the worst offender? Natural flavors? That's a black box term that can mean almost anything. Companies can legally hide dozens of chemicals under that one phrase, most of which are proprietary, undisclosed, and unregulated for long-term biological effects. If your bedtime tea or elixir lists natural flavors in the ingredients, toss it. If the drink is so weak that it needs synthetic flavoring to taste like blueberry or lemon balm, that's not real food. That's a science experiment. So what's the solution? Strip it back. Drink things your grandmother would recognize. If you're making golden milk, make it with unsweetened almond milk, real turmeric, and cracked pepper. No syrup, no powder from a packet,